sitting on our butts, but with our knees bent. So we just want to be able to hold on to our knees a little bit, give ourselves kind of a little bit of a hug. But to start, you might choose to be a little bit loose in your position. So step your feet forward to wherever works good for you. And then just kind of think about sort of snuggling in. Let your hands rest wherever feels good. Let your head tuck down just a little bit. And this, you might not feel much of any sensation here, but we just want to kind of tune into the breath. So this is my idea of us just being able to kind of close in a little bit on yourself and allow your sensation to come inward. So we're taking away our view a little bit, maybe gazing down at the floor or close your eyes. And then releasing any super efforting. So if you're holding on too tight, maybe just rearrange your legs so that it all feels pretty easy here. And right away, you might notice that especially if your belly is resting on your thighs, you might notice just a little bit of constriction. Hey, good morning, Liz. Liz, if your shoulders are tight, grab a yoga strap, but otherwise we're good for props. So if you feel like there's compression of your belly against your thighs, you can kind of wiggle around just a little bit, make a little space for your belly. But if you're breathing comfortably, leave it all as it is, and then see if you can just kind of tune in and notice the breath in the back of the body, breath in your shoulder blades and like right where the bottom of your ribs are. See if you can feel the breath there. And in this closed off position, maybe with your eyes closed, just take a moment to kind of tune in and notice, how is your body feeling physically this morning? Did you get enough rest last night? Have you eaten nourishing meals? How is your energy level? And then with that sense of awareness of how you're feeling this morning, set an intention here to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And then with that intention set, slowly start to lift your head up, move your belly away from your thighs, and then catch hold of your knees. From here, we're going to keep a more upright position with the spine. So think about getting that nice lifting up sensation. Then we're going to move into the head and to the neck. So just hold on to your knees. Inhale, lift your chin up to the sky. Exhale, tuck your chin down towards your chest. Inhale and lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. One more like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale to tuck down. And now we're going to move into more of a cat-cow situation. So as you inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. And as you exhale, maybe curl the tailbone under around your back and hang into your shoulders just a little bit. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your chin. Exhale and round back, and just round back to a depth that feels good to you. Take a few more cycles of breath here and just move with your breath's rhythm, bringing some nice fluid movement into the spine, and then just kind of getting a sense. How's your low back feeling? How are your shoulders feeling? Take 2 more cycles of breath. And then once you've completed those cycles of breath with a fairly neutral spine, hands are going to come behind the back, fingers pointing towards your butt. And then we're going to press pretty firmly into the palms. So the arms straighten, the chest lifts, and the shoulder blades squeeze together. So think of this as a gentle back bend, a little opening through the front of the chest and the collarbones. Let your gaze lift up. Take a nice big breath. And then release your back bend, but keep your hands behind you for a little bit of support and start to rock your knees side to side. And if you need to readjust the placement of your feet, take a second to do that so that so you're feeling a little bit of movement in the hips and a little massage in the glutes. Awesome. Take one more swing of those knees side to side, and then we're going to take it into a seated ragdoll. So scoot your butt back just a little bit, step your feet a little bit longer, knees still generously bent, pull the belly up and over, exhale, reach towards your feet. Maybe you catch hold of your feet or your shins or the floor, just whatever handhold works good for you. And now get a sense of how are the backs of your legs feeling? How's your low back feeling here? If you have hold of your toes, can you take your toes and your knees and kind of windshield wiper them side to side? So with that little handhold, you're going to rock into your bum a little bit. Knees are going to rock side to side. Heels are going to stay connected to the floor, but just make sure this feels like a good sensation. If there's anything funky going on, if it creates any like little zing in your glutes or down your thigh, leave this part off. But if it feels okay to be here, take one or two more little rocks side to side. Nice. And then come up nice and slow. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together into a nice wide diamond shape. So keep the heels fairly far away from the inner thigh and the groin. So it's a nice wide Baddha Konasana. And then lift your chest. We're going to lean the heart forward just a little bit and then come right back up. So we just want to go to a point where we feel a light sensation, inner thigh and groin. Lean your heart forward just a little bit and bring it back up. And then do that one more time. Lean your heart forward just a little bit and bring it back up. And now we're going to take it into a deer seat. So right leg is going to come out in front. So just lean it into that right side of your butt, right leg in front, left leg out to the side. And then once you've got yourself there, hands behind the head. So we're going to take this into more of a strengthening position. So push your head into your hands into your head. So you create that little resistance to keep that nice strong posture. Hinge from your waist, lean your heart forward just to a point that you can control. And then come back up, keep pushing your head into your hands. Beautiful. Lean your chest forward. Keep that nice long spine. Push into your hands. Come back up nice and strong. One more just like that. Lean yourself forward. Come back up nice and strong and then release your hands from your head. And we're going to take it into a fold with a little bit of softness. So walk your hands out to a depth that feels good to you. Just make sure that your knees feel happy about it. Don't go any further than your knees like. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. And then start to walk yourself back up nice and slow. We're going to swing those legs out in front of us with a super generous bend in the knees. Take one forward fold here, but keep those knees nice and bent. Big breath, reach up and overhead. Exhale, reach towards your feet. Keep those knees nice and bent. One good breath here. And then when you're ready, pull the abdominal muscles in, roll up through the spine, and then we're going to swing the legs out to the other side. So set your deer up for the other side, left leg in front, right leg out to the side. Make sure everything feels good. And then once you're there, hands behind the head, push your head into your hands into your head to get that little resistance. Keep that strong back, lean your heart forward, and then come back up with control. Beautiful. Lean your heart forward and come back up with control. One more time here, lean your heart forward. Come back up with control, release your hands, and then we'll walk it out to that softer position. So walk your hands out to a depth that feels right to you. Once you're there, take a nice full breath in. Slow breath out. And then when you're ready, walk yourself back up and in. We're going to swing those legs out in front of us one last time. Super generous bend in the knees. Take a nice big breath. Think up and over. Keep those knees bent. Exhale, reach toward your toes. Take a nice full inhale. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, walk yourself up nice and easy. Swing your legs out and around so we find our way into our tabletop position or onto all floors. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then if you like to double stack your mat or put a little cushion under your knees, take a second to do that. And then once you're in that tabletop position, we're going to do that little transfer of weight. So we're just going to start with the hands. So you're going to pick up your right hand, set it down, pick up your left hand and set it down, and try to keep your arms fairly straight. So we want to feel like the whole torso is helping lift the hand up away from the floor and then over to the other side. Beautiful. Take one more time each side. And then hands are going to stay on the floor. And now we're going to take it into the knees. So one knee is going to lift and then the other. Nice. One more time each side here. And now we're going to take it hands and legs. So we're going to lift the hand and the knee, release it down, lift your other hand and your knee, release it down, and only go as far as you can control. So it doesn't have to be a super high lift, but we just kind of want to feel out that transfer of weight. Awesome. Take one more time each side. And now we're going to do a little crawl. So keeping your knees on the ground, you're going to crawl yourself towards the front end of your mat. Just allow your body to move the way it naturally does. Think of it like how little kids learn how to crawl. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but just crawl yourself forward, crawl yourself to the back edge of your mat. Take one more time forward and back. And then after you've taken that forward and back, we're going to come back to the middle of our mat. So go all the way back to the end. And then bring yourself back to center. Find your sturdy tabletop. Spread your fingers, index fingers pointing to the top of the mat. Take 3 cat-cows here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale and round your back. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round your back. One more cycle of breath here. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round your back. Find a neutral spine, and now we're going to curl the toes under, pull your butt back to your heels. Take 3 breaths here, just a little stretch to the toes, the bottoms of the feet. If it feels good, you can wag your tail a little side to side. One more breath. And then we're going to lift up, release your toes, but now we're going to keep the toenails on the ground, pull your butt back to your heels. And then from here, for everybody, this is going to be a little bit different just because of knees and because of ankles. So you're going to start with your hands in front of you, and you're just going to push into your palms as if you're trying to push back into the knees to imagine that your knees are lifted. You might already feel sensation in the front of the ankles. You might be there. This might be enough. If this feels good, but you want a little bit more sensation, you're going to walk yourself up and just walk your hands behind you, lean back just a little bit. That might be enough. If this feels great and you know your ankles are happy about it, you're going to lean back just a little bit further. Let the knees lift away from the floor. Don't go any further than feels comfortable in your ankles. Take one good breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, release with control, float all the way forward into your tabletop position, curl your toes under, lift your knees and hover your table here. So nice and sturdy in your center, nice and broad in your shoulders, gaze down between your thumbs. Notice how this position feels. Take one more breath. Cool. And then release your knees down, pick your toes up, just give your toes and your ankles a little wiggle. We're going to come back to that hovering table, and now we're going to crawl our hovering table. But if you got to that hovering table and you were like, no, thank you, then just come back to that crawl with the knees on the ground. But if it felt good, pick the knees up, keep the knees lifted, crawl yourself forward towards the front edge of your mat. Crawl yourself back, and don't worry about what it looks like, but worry about the control. So think about taking it nice and slow so you pay attention to the movement. Make sure your wrists feel okay. Beautiful. Take it to the back end of your mat one more time, and then we're going to find our way to the center of the mat. Back to your tabletop position, release your knees down, move right into puppy pose. Release your toes, walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat, let your chest and your forehead sink down. Take 3 nice big breaths here. On your next inhale, start to lift yourself back up into your tabletop position. We're going to bring the big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat, and then take it back to extended child's pose. Pull your butt back to your heels. We're going to get a little fluid here. So inhale, come forward just a little bit. Think about pulling the belly up towards the spine, and then as you exhale, pull your butt back toward your heels. Inhale and come forward. Pull the belly up. Exhale, pull your butt back toward your heels. Beautiful. One more just like that. Inhale, come forward, pull the belly up. Exhale, pull your butt back to your heels, and now stay here. Let your elbows get a little soft and heavy towards the ground, and then see if it's available to bring the prayer hands behind your head. Take a moment here to just come back to your breath. Take a nice full inhalation, a slow but natural exhalation. Take one more breath. And then if your prayer hands are behind the head, go ahead and start by releasing them nice and easy. Inhale and lift yourself up. We're going to walk those knees in back into your tabletop position. Curl your toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Take a pedal of each leg. And then we're going to bend the knees, pick up the heels, lower back down into your tabletop position. Keep the toes curled under. Pull your butt back towards your heels. Come forward into tabletop. Exhale, lift into your downward facing dog. Take a pedal of each leg. And then once you've completed that, pick up your heels, lower your knees, keep those toes tucked under, pull your butt back to your heels. Beautiful. Inhale and come forward, keep the toes curled under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Take a pedal of each leg. And then pick up the heels, lower the knees, come to table, toes tucked under, pull your butt back to your heels. Beautiful. Now come forward into your tabletop position, release your toes, and now we're going to find a high kneel position. So hands are going to come to the knees. Find that high kneel position. Bring your hands into your back pockets, fingers pointing down, hips come forward slightly, chest lifts slightly, chin lifts slightly. So think of this as like the essence of a back bend, nothing extreme. We haven't warmed up many of those parts yet. So just think of this as an essence of a back bend. Heart is lifting slightly, gaze is lifting slightly. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then release that gentle back bend. Right hand's going to touch down to the thigh. Left hand's going to reach up alongside your ear. We're going to take a side bend, lift through the fingertips, and imagine you're reaching your right fingertips down towards your right knee. Does not matter if you touch your knee, but we just want to get that sensation of reach. Take one good breath. And then when you're ready, lift up. Left hand's going to touch down. Right hand's going to reach up. Slide the left fingers towards the left knee. Awesome. Lift up with control. Hands into the back pockets again. A gentle, gentle, slight back bend. Hips come forward slightly. Heart lifts slightly. Gaze lifts slightly. And then when you're ready, release into tabletop position. Take a cat-cow just to bring a little fluid back into the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tail. Exhale and round your back. Inhale to a neutral spine, curl the toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. And now take a few pedals of the legs here, but also think about moving your hips, moving your shoulders, move your head a little bit, just any little bit of playful organic movement that might feel good. When you feel ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands. Come to a nice ragdoll fold at the top of the mat. So feet about hip or shoulder distance apart, super generous bend in the knees, rearrange your clothes so everything feels like it's in a nice position. And then just think about letting your hands get nice and heavy here. Soften through the back of your neck. Take a little time here to come back to your breath. Take a nice full inhalation. Feel that nice little buoyant lift that comes with the inhale, and find that softness that comes with your exhale. Take one more breath here. We're going to stay in a folded position, but we're going to tent our fingers. So get those nice tall cupcake hands or piano fingers. We just want to create a little bit of a brace. And then imagine sort of a halfway lift. So reach up through your spine just a little bit. And now we're going to start to pedal the legs here. So we're going to bend one knee and then the other and start to tune in and notice, how do the backs of your legs feel this morning? How are your hamstrings feeling? You might notice a little tug at the back of the knee as well. Just make sure it feels like a nice sensation. Take one or two more pedals of the legs. And then we're going to keep the legs in a fairly straight position, but lift your fingertips so that the fingertips are lifted away from the floor, but the arms are still kind of hanging out nice and heavy from the shoulders. And then we're going to take those arms as they hang nice and heavy, draw them in circles, go in one direction. Nice. And then draw the arms in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. One more circle of the arms. And then we're going to take our hands and walk them up towards our hip crease. Find that hip crease, place the heels of your hands into the hip crease, push into the hip crease and lengthen through your spine. So we make that nice 7 shape with the body. Think about extending through the crown of your head, reaching through the tailbone, abdominal muscles pulling up just slightly. Take one more breath here. And then soften that position, bend your knees, lift up into an upright position, and then just give yourself a second as you come up to standing to get yourself all arranged so that you can find mountain pose at the top of the mat. Toes and knees pointing fairly forward, hips about shoulder distance apart, or feet about hip distance apart. Did I say hips? Once you've found your way there, take a second to lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can, lift the insteps of your feet. And then with the toes lifted, the insteps lifted, you're just going to give yourself a little shake. Just kind of feel your feet nice and firmly connected to the floor. Once you feel like you've got that nice firm foundation, let that shaking come to stillness. Lift up through the front of your body. Soften your toes down to the ground. Bring a little energy down into your fingertips. Take a nice full inhale. Nice slow exhale. As you inhale, lift your shoulders up to your ears, get a little scrunch in your face. And then as you exhale, shoulders melt down, head turns to the right. Inhale, shoulders lift, scrunch up your face. Exhale, shoulders soften down, head turns to the left. Beautiful. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften, head turns to the right. Inhale to lift. Exhale, soften, head turns to the left. One more time each side. Inhale to lift. Exhale to soften and turn. Inhale to lift. Exhale to soften and turn. Inhale, lift just to bring it back to center. And then as you exhale, soften your shoulders down, reach up through the crown of your head. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Do that again, but notice here, how do your shoulders feel? Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time like that. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your side. Now we're going to go a little further. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your side. One more time like that. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Now we're going to reach up, grab that imaginary beach ball above your head. Exhale, sink into a little chair. Just bring your weight back into your heels, butt back, bend your knees. Firm up your abdomen just a little bit. Imagine you're pulling your hip bones in towards each other, those front protruding hip bones. Imagine they're just kind of drawing in towards each other. So we keep our center nice and strong. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then push into your feet. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Open your chest. Inhale and reach up. And now we're going to take our arms into a little loose cow face position. So one hand is going to reach up, one hand is going to reach behind. Release, take it over to the other side. Other hand's going to reach up, other hand's going to reach behind, but keep it a loose position. Don't force it. Just go as far as you can go, switching sides. Release and take it to the other side. Beautiful. One more time each side. Swing those arms just to a gentle position that feels good to you. Release, take it over to the other side. Beautiful. And then release. Reach both hands up and overhead. Grab that beach ball. Prayer hands are going to come together. We're going to bring the thumbs to the back of the head. And then from this position, fold down. Take your hands down the center line. Let your hands touch the floor. Inhale to a half forward fold. Find some length in the spine. Exhale, soften down. Plant both hands. Step back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Pick up your heels, lower your knees, come to tabletop position, release your toes, come up to that high kneel. Hands into your back pockets, gentle, gentle back bend, hips forward, heart lifts, gaze lifts. Take one good breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to release that. Bring your butt back to your heels. Hands are going to find the soles of the feet. Can you reach your hands back, touch the soles of the feet, let your belly rest on your chest, rest on your thighs. Take one good breath here. Awesome. And then slide your hands forward. We're going to start to find our way down into a belly down position. So if you like a little strength, step back into a plank position, pause in that plank, find a little bit of strength through the front of the body, through the back of the body. And then when you feel ready, release yourself down onto the ground with control. Lower onto your belly. Once you're here, take a second. Give your bum a little shake. Give your shoulders a little shimmy. Make sure everything feels okay. We're going to take 3 low cobras here. Hands alongside the shoulders, elbows in at the ribs. But before we lift up, think about this as a strength maneuver. Almost imagine that your hands aren't doing anything for you, and see if you can reach through the crown of your head. And if it feels better, don't even let your hands touch the floor. Reach through the crown of your head, draw your tailbone down towards your heel. Lift up so you feel the muscles in the back engage, and then release right back down. Inhale and lift up. Feel that strength in your back. Exhale and lower back down. Beautiful. One more just like that. Inhale and lift up. Exhale and lower down. Take a second, relax your bum, shake out your low back. We're going to bend the right knee, hug it in towards your butt, but hands free. So we want to feel that hamstring muscle fire up. So think about pulling your heel in towards your glute to the point you feel that muscle in the back of your thigh fire up. Hold that position. Take one good breath. And then when you're ready, release that foot nice and long, take it to the other side. Bend your left knee, hug your heel in towards your butt to the point where you feel that muscle in the back of the thigh fire up. Hold that position, take one good breath. Cool, and then when you're ready, release those toes down. We're gonna push our way up into a tabletop position, curl the toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog, take a pedal or two of the legs, notice how the backs of your legs feel. And then when you're ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Beautiful. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale, soften all the way down, bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to standing, take your time, roll your shoulders around, down and back. Shift your weight onto your left foot, pick your right heel up, see where your balance is at here with your big toe on the ground. Set your right heel down, shift your weight over to your right foot, pick your left heel up, see where your balance is at here. And then if it feels like your balance feels a little bit mischievous today, take yourself to a wall or a chair just so you can get that handhold. Shift your weight back over to your left foot, pick your right heel up, maybe lift the knee up. We're going to flex the foot and then push the heel forward. So strong position. So you feel your quadricep muscles engage. It might not be a high leg position, but hold here with just a little bit of balance. If you can, take one good breath. And then when you're ready, release that foot down, shift your weight to your right foot. Start by picking the left heel up. If it feels good, lift the knee up, flex the foot, push the heel forward, keep the legs strong. Take one good breath. Nice, and then bend that knee, release it down, come back to your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, hands are gonna meet, thumbs to the back of the head. As you fold, you're gonna take those prayer hands down the center line. Once your fingers touch the floor, inhale, straighten. Exhale, soften a little bit, step the right leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out, right hand is gonna pick you up. Wonderful. And then just take a second here to just rearrange so everything feels sturdy. Both legs are holding that weight distribution, ribs in line with the hips, arms extend out. One good breath here, nice and strong. Wonderful. And we're going to take it into peaceful warrior. Drop the back hand, reach the front hand up just to find a little space and opening through that side body. And then we're going to spin the hands down to the ground. Cartwheel your hands down, pivot your back heel, come into your runner's lunge. Take one good breath. Beautiful. Plant the palms, step back to plank. Lower your knees, rotate the eyes of the elbows, hug your elbows into your ribs, lower with control. Drunken serpent, hands off the edges of your mat, tall cupcake hands. Inhale, lift your heart nice and high. Exhale and lower down. Right shoulder up and back. Inhale, lift your right shoulder and look over. Exhale and lower down. Beautiful. Take it to the left. Inhale, lift and look over. Exhale, lower down. Back to center. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Slide your hands in, curl your toes under. Either take it up to a tabletop or power up to a plank. Find your way up to downward facing dog. Right leg up into three-legged dog, but keep the hips square, keep the shoulders square, keep your toes and your knees pointing down towards the floor. Beautiful. Take one good breath. Release that foot down, bend your knees, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a forward fold. Bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, roll your shoulders down and back, shift your weight over to your left foot, pick your right knee up, flex the foot, push the heel forward, bend the knee, bring it back in, set that foot down, shift your weight onto your right foot, pick your left foot up, flex the foot, push the heel forward, bend the knee, bring it back in, set it down, find your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up, hands together, thumbs to the back of the head. Take those hands down the center line as you fold. Once those hands find the floor, inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out. Left hand is gonna pick you up. Wonderful. Take a second to just make sure your legs feel like they're arranged solidly. Ribs in line with the hips, arms reaching out to shoulder height, gaze forward. Nice and strong here. Take a nice big breath. Peaceful warrior. Drop the back hand, reach that front hand up, look towards your hand. Beautiful. And then spin those hands down to the ground. Pivot your back heel through your runner's lunge. Awesome. Plant the palms, step back to plank. Bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of the elbows, hug elbows into ribs as you lower with control. Drunken serpent, hands off the edges of your mat, tall cupcake hands. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, lower down. Right shoulder up and back. Inhale, lift and look over. Exhale, lower down. Beautiful. Left shoulder up and back. Inhale, lift and look over. Exhale, lower down, back to center. Inhale, lift as high as you like. Exhale, lower down, slide your hands in, curl your toes under, either take it up to a table or power up to a plank. Downward facing dog, and then into that three-legged dog. So left leg is gonna lift up, but keep your shoulders square, hips square, toes and knees pointing down. So you might not get as much height, but lots of control. Take one good breath. Release that foot with control, bend your knees, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, roll your shoulders around, down and back. Inhale, reach your arms up like you're grabbing that beach ball. Exhale, cactus your arms, pull the elbows down, open your chest, look to the sky. Inhale, reach up, prayer hands together, but keep that wider position so that you have plenty of room for your shoulders to move around the acromion process. So prayer hands are gonna come together, thumbs to the back of the head. Release thumbs from the back of the head, release your hands. Exhale, cactus your arms, open your chest. Inhale, reach up with that soft position so the prayer hands can find each other, thumbs to the back of the head. Beautiful. Reach up, release. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, reach up, prayer hands together, thumbs to the back of the head. Beautiful. One more time, just like that. Open up, cactus your arms, look to the sky. Release arms up, prayer hands find each other, thumbs to the back of the head. Beautiful. And then release your arms down, give everything a little wiggle, a little shake. And now we're going to come back to our balance. But if you like using that strap to catch hold of your foot when we did that balance pose, grab your yoga strap if you like to use that. And then we're going to take a little bit of a balance here. But you can also do this if you've got the flexibility or the reach. If your arms are long enough, you can also just grab hold of your big toe with your fingers. So if you prefer that method, go ahead and do that. Shift your weight over to your left foot. We're going to pick the right foot up. If you're using your strap, you're just going to catch hold of the bottom of the foot with your loop. Maybe opt to take a few bends and straightens just to create a little bit of length in the back of that leg. And then coming to a depth that feels right to you. If you're using your strap, you might choose to hold on to both ends with the same hand, same foot. Lift it up, swing it out nice and wide. Or you can choose to stay forward, whatever balance works better for you. With a little bit of control, bring it back in. Bend your knee, release your foot from your strap, set it down, give it all a good bounce. And then when you feel ready, we'll set it up to the other side. If you're using a wall for support, you might choose to just flip yourself around. But whatever variation you choose, either grab hold of your big toe with your fingers or grab hold of the bottom of the foot with your strap. If you're using the strap, you might opt to take a few good bends and straightens of that leg. And then bring it forward to a point that feels good. You might choose to stay here, or Hold on to both ends of your strap. Take that leg out to the side, just as wide as feels good. Bring it back in with a little control. Bend your knee, release your foot, set it down, give everything a little wiggle jiggle, set your strap down and off to the side, come back to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up and look up, hands together, thumbs to the back of the head. Exhale and fold everything down the center line. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step the right leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out, right hand picks you up. Nice, and now we're gonna take it into a side angle and then move into extended side angle. So left elbow is gonna come down to the right knee, but we wanna think about pulling those ribs away from the thighs so that whole side body stays strong and lifted. Right hand is gonna reach up, and then we're gonna take that right pinky, roll the right pinky down towards the ground and even gaze down at the floor. Take a nice big breath. Nice, and then release that pinky position just a little bit so you can lift your gaze. And then you might choose to stay here. This might be really nice. If it feels good, but you want that little bit of more, slide your elbow off your knee, let those left fingers find the floor, pull that top shoulder back, gaze up towards the sky, take a nice big breath. Beautiful, strong legs, strong side body. Lift up to your warrior two with control. Take it to peaceful warrior. Drop the back hand, reach the front hand up. Awesome, and then spin those hands down to the ground. Pivot on your back heel. Come through your runner's lunge, plant your palms, step back to plank. Bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, lower with control onto your belly. Take a second as you come down onto your belly to give your butt a little wiggle, your shoulders a little shimmy. And now we're gonna take it into a locust. So either hands alongside the shoulders, hands tucked under your hip points, or making those fists to support those hip bones all together. Totally up to you, whatever variation you choose. Point through your toes, both toes reaching towards the end of your mat. We're gonna lift both legs up. Just come as high as feels good. Notice your back of your legs, notice your glutes, notice your low back. Take one good breath. And then release your feet with control. Wherever your hands are, go ahead and release them. Push your way up to a table or up to plank. Exhale your way up to a downward facing dog. Right leg into three-legged dog. And then this time, if it feels good, bend your knee, let your hip roll open. Take one good breath. Awesome. And now we're going to come into our pigeon pose. So take that right leg, drop it across your mat. So right knee over to the right side, right foot over towards the left, and then give a second to kind of let everything find its way. So you want to let your hips sink down. And then for all of us, a little variation in that knee. Some of us, this is not the position at all for our body. So you might choose to spin it around and take it into a more figure four. If that feels safer to your knee, please take that figure four, just so you're happy in this position. If that pigeon pose feels nice, take it into a little sleeping pigeon or come down to any depth that feels good to you. Soften through the back of your body. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, slowly start to bring your chest up. So if you're in that folded position, gently lift your heart up. And then for anyone who's got their leg behind, with a little bit of strength here. So we're just going to engage those hamstring muscles one last time. You're going to bend that back knee, hug your heel in towards your butt. So rather than reaching your hand back to catch it and then get that stretch in the quads, engage the hamstring muscles. So actively pull that heel toward your butt, feel the back of the leg fire up, take one good breath. And then when you're ready, release, curl the back toes under, pick that back knee up. We're going to slide that front leg back to three-legged dog. So slide it back, lift it up nice and high. Awesome. And then if it feels available, you're going to step that foot all the way through to the top of the mat into a lunge, and then step that back foot up to meet. Come to forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Hands together, thumbs to the back of the head. Exhale, fold it all down through the center line. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out, left hand picks you up. Get everything arranged so it feels good and strong, and then to that side angle. So right elbow is going to come towards the knee. We lift those ribs away from the thighs so the side body stays engaged. Reach that left hand up alongside your ear. And then once you're here, roll that pinky finger down towards the floor and turn your head so that your gaze is down. Beautiful. Now lift it back up just a little bit, gaze forward. And then if it feels good, you're going to take it into extended side angle, but only if that feels good to you. Slide your elbow off your knee, let your fingers find the floor, pull that top shoulder back, gaze up towards the sky. And then with whatever position you chose, fingers on the floor or elbow on the knee, strong legs, strong side body, lift up, take it into peaceful warrior, drop the back hand, reach the front hand up, look up. Beautiful. And then spin your hands down to the ground, pivot on your back heel so you come through your runner's lunge. Nice. Plant the palms, step back to plank. Lower the knees, release the toes, hug the elbows into the ribs, lower with control onto your belly. Awesome. Take a second, wiggle out your butt, tuck your fingers under your hip points if that feels like a way to go. Reach through both sets of toes. Pull both sets of toes away from you and then lift them up just as high as they go. Beautiful. Release your toes down, release your hands. Nicely done. Curl the toes under, either power up to a plank or take it into your tabletop position. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Left leg up nice and high, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open, take a breath. And then we're going to take that left leg across the mat, pigeon pose to the other side. So drop it across, get it arranged in a way that feels good, or flip over, take it into a figure four, or whatever variation that you know you like best. Once you feel like you're there, maybe you fold yourself forward just a little bit. Take one more breath here. And we're going to come to that hamstring strengthening move. So if you prefer to stay in this folded position, if that feels more beneficial to you, you might choose to stay there. But if it feels good, if you're in that folded position, go ahead and walk your chest up, bend that back knee, hug that heel in towards your butt. So you want to feel the back of that hamstring or the back of your thigh fire up, feel that little bit of strength there, really actively pulling that knee or heel in towards your butt. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release the foot down, curl the toes under, lift your back knee up, slide that front leg back to a three-legged dog, rearrange everything that you need to. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, step that foot through to the top of your mat, come through a lunge, and then step the back foot up to meet, come to your forward fold. Take a pedal or two of each legs, just give your backs of your legs a little wiggle, give your bum a little wiggle. We're going to start to find our way down to the ground. So bend your knees, pick up your heels, and then we're going to release the butt down, come right into your cobbler's pose. So set your butt down, Bring the soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. And now if it feels available, bring your heels just a little bit closer in so we close that diamond up a little bit. Once you feel like you've got a nice, happy position, knees are feeling good, everything feels all right, lean your chest forward and start to go to your edge. So go as far as feels comfortable to you. Take one more breath. Lift up through the crown of your head. Let your heart follow. Come up nice and slow and controlled. Grab the outsides of your knees. Help your knees come together. And then curl the tailbone under. Roll your way down to the ground nice and slow and controlled. Awesome. And then once you found your way down, just give a second. Get yourself situated. Rearrange your pants and your shirt. Make sure your hair is in a good position. Step your heels a little closer to your butt. Feet about hip width distance apart. We're going to come into a single bridge here. If you like that bind in your bridge, if you like to take your hands behind the back and interlace the fingers, but you don't have the reach, just have your strap handy so you can use your strap to get in there a little bit. So start by bringing the hands down alongside the hips, palms pressing into the earth. We're going to lift the hips up nice and high. And then rearrange your shoulder blades so that the shoulders kind of snuggle in towards each other. So there's a little bit of lift in the heart, a tiny lift in the chin, and then see if it feels good to interlace the fingers behind the back, drawing the knuckles towards the heels. If that reach is not there for you, you can take your strap, bring it into a nice close little handhold so you still get that sensation, but maybe with a little extra space. So once you feel like you've got a good handhold, and if both of those don't feel good, just leave your hands down on the ground. Maybe you focus a little bit more on the sensation through the front of your hips, through the thighs, reaching your knees toward your toes. So nice active position. Whatever variation you chose, take one more good breath. If your hands are interlaced, go ahead and unlace them. If you're holding your yoga strap, go ahead and set it off to the side. And then once your hands are out of the way, slowly and mindfully roll down through the spine. So think upper back, middle back, low back, hips touch the ground. Pull both knees up into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. And then release those legs into a tabletop position. Arms are going to come out first. We're going to fire up the obliques, get those muscles kicking on, and then we'll take it into a twist. So with your arms out at your sides is a bit of an anchor. Keep your inner thighs fairly hugging in towards each other and just start to drop your knees side to side. As you drop the knees to the side, once you feel those side belly muscles kick on, bring it right back to center. So keep it a nice controlled maneuver. Beautiful. One more time each side using the strength. And then when you're ready, drop your knees over to the right with control. Let them come all the way down to the ground. See if you can keep your left shoulder hugging down towards the earth. And then once you've got your knees dropped down to a depth that feels good to you, if it feels available, right hand is going to find the outside of the left thigh. Push your thighs down, push your left shoulder down, and then maybe turn your head to the left. Take one more breath. If your head is turned to the left, bring it back to center. If your hand is on your thigh, go ahead and release it. Hands on the ground, find your anchor. Pull your knees back to center with a bit of control. Pause in the center for a second. Make sure everything feels like it's adjusted well. And then take your knees over to the left. Let them come all the way down with control. Try to keep your right shoulder down on the ground. And then if it feels available, left hand to that knee. Push your thighs down to the ground. Push your right shoulder down to the ground. Turn your head to the right. Take one more breath. If your head is turned to the right, bring it back to center. If your hand is on your thigh, go ahead and release it with control. Pull those knees back to center. And then we're going to pull both knees in towards the chest, a light little squeeze, but find your handhold here. And now we're going to push our knees into our hands. Hands are going to help resist. So strong arms, push your knees up towards the ceiling. And then just notice here, is one leg a little bit stronger than the other? Can you push with the same amount of force through both legs? Take a nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, soften, gently draw the knees in towards your chest. We're going to let go of the left knee. So let your left foot touch down to the ground. And now we're going to re-grab the back of the right thigh, get a little basket weave here. And we're going to take a few little bends and straightens of the legs. As you bend and straighten the leg, if you like, as that foot reaches up, a little flex of the foot so you feel a little sensation through the back of the leg. Beautiful. One more bend and straighten of the leg. And then we're going to keep that leg lifted. Walk your hands up your leg, up towards your shin or up towards your ankle. Let your nose lift towards your knee. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then gently release. Bend that knee, set that foot down, let your head relax. And we're going to take it to the other side. Grabbing hold of the back of the thigh, take a few bends and straightens. You're going to let that foot flex as it reaches up towards the sky if that feels like a good sensation. Beautiful. And then the next time that heel reaches up towards the ceiling, stay there. Walk your hands up your leg, up towards your shin or up towards your ankle. Let your nose reach towards your knee. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully release your head down, release that foot down. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So think Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined cobbler's pose. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Readjust your tailbone, make sure it feels good and solid on the ground. But now we're going to bring the hands to the inner thighs. Rather than trying to push the inner thighs down, you're going to create that little sense of resistance and your inner thighs are going to push up into your hands. So feel your inner thighs get active. You might feel your abdominal muscles helping assist with that movement. You might feel your glutes fire up. So just kind of take a moment to notice where in your body do you feel that muscle engagement as you try to push the inner thighs up into the hands and the hands resist. Take 2 more cycles of breath here, holding that position. So inner thighs are pushing upward, hands are just helping create a little resistance to push down. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release, let all of that go. Soften your glutes, soften your inner thighs, maybe give everything a little wiggle and make sure everything feels loosened up. And then from here, bring the knees together, step your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Take a few gentle windshield wipers, just letting the knees drop gently side to side. Invite some fluid movement back into the hips. Take one more time each side. And then as you come back to center, pause in constructive rest. Let your knees drop in towards each other. Take a moment just to kind of tune back in and notice. Notice how your body feels. Notice your energy level. If you're in a cold space, take a second to throw your socks back on, throw your sweater on, put your blanket on, do all those things. If you want to stay in this constructive rest position, just take a second to make sure you rearrange your shoulder blades or any other position that you like for your body so that you can find a little bit of stillness. So take a moment to get yourself comfortable and then find that comfortable position physically. start to bring your awareness back into your body. Invite a gentle waking breath into your body, and then just start to get a sense of the floor beneath you, the space above you. If you've got a blanket or if you've got any props involved, maybe take a second to just kind of gently move them off to the side and then start to reawaken. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, move your wrists, move your ankles, maybe even turn your head a little bit of side to side just to bring a little movement back into the cervical spine. And then once you've got sort of that gentle movement going on, if it feels good to do so, take a big good morning stretch like a yawn, reach from fingers to toes, take a couple of big breaths here. Just find that nice long reach. Take up a whole bunch of space in your mat. And we're staying here just a little longer. This one's for Helen to make up for my faux pas yesterday. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes, take a nice deep breath. And then once you feel reawakened, slowly and mindfully start to find your way back up to a comfortable seated position. So you might choose to come up to Sukhasana. You might rock and roll to one side, whatever gets you there and feels good. Nice. And then as you come up to your comfortable seated position, just kind of take a second, wiggle into your sits bones, find that nice uplifted spine, let your shoulders soften down. And without hands or anything, if you can close your eyes, just get a sense of your side body from your armpits down to your hips. Take a nice big breath in, just feel the breath in the side of your body. Exhale nice and slow. And then we're going to take our hands, and you can open your eyes for this part if you need to see. We're going to brush hands. So we're just going to, like you've got dirt on your side of your shirt or something, you're going to take your hands as close to the armpits as you can. And with a little bit of a forceful push, you're going to brush down the side of the body, bring it back to the armpits, brush down the side of the body, bring it back to the armpits, brush down the side of the body. And now we're going to take that to the tops of the thighs. So brush down your thighs, but make it a little bit of force. Brush down the tops of your thighs. Do that one more time. Brush down the tops of your thighs, and then take it down to your arms. So we're going to brush down the arm, but like you're trying to really get something off you, brush down. Do that one more time. Brush down, and then take it over to your other arm. Brush down, up and down. One more time. Nicely done. Stack your hands on top of your heart. Close your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. As you breathe in, can you get a sense of your side body, the armpits and the sides down to the hips? Nice slow breath out. As you breathe in, can you feel a sense of subtle movement in the tops of your thighs? Thinking about the idea that the body is completely connected. So as your breath moves, all of your body moves. And then on your next inhale, as you breathe in, can you notice a little sensation in your arms or the skin of your arms? Beautiful. And then just let your awareness come right back to your heart center. Just notice your hands stacked on your heart. Notice the warmth or the coolness of your hands. Take a nice full breath in, breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Thursday.